How about now? Hopefully that's better. So weird. I guess it's like if I start OBS and then I put it to sleep and then I come back, whatever reason, it doesn't work. But now we're good. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for checking in. Thanks for watching. This is what? Episode 3? Have we done this 3 times? I think this is the 3rd time. So let's not waste much time. Why don't you guys all call out where you're from and give me a good idea of how many people are watching from all over the place. That would be fantastic. Wyoming, thanks for checking in. Salinas Valley Scalers, thanks for checking in. I see your lips moving, but nothing coming out. That's most of the time. Missouri, thank you for checking in. Let's head right over to Lightroom because that's what we're here to do. Calcasieu, Michigan. Australia, Southwest Florida, Missouri, Indiana, Oklahoma, New York, Ohio, Minnesota, Central PA, Michigan, Ohio, Connecticut, Cottage Grove, Oregon, Houston, London, Byford, Australia, Pennsylvania, Utah, hope that's Utah, Calgary, Ajax, Ontario, oh, that's close to me, Kalkaska, there, thank you, Evan, New Brunswick, Utah, Canada. All right, let's get into editing some photos. Now, I feel a lot smarter today because when I brought in all of the photos, I renamed most of them to have the person's name who submitted them. I feel so smart. I'm the smartest man alive. But, ding dong that I am, this first one doesn't have a name attached to it. So, we're going to have to guess on this one. Ryan, have I taken out the SSD Trail King yet? No. It's done, but I haven't ruined it yet. I just actually got finished installing some new ESC hardware. Where's the box? Oh, that's reversed for you guys. Hang on. I just finished putting one of these new Firma 40 Smart amp ESC receiver combos in to the to that truck. I also put in another truck. I've got a video coming up on that shortly. I will say for us model guys that are like more about modeling and more about scale accuracy and saving space, these are great ESCs, and I cannot wait to share that review with you. But anyway, let's get back to doing some photography work. This is a good-looking photo. I wish I could remember who it was from. Yeah, hair is getting very long. It's really starting to come out the back now, and the sides, and everywhere else. Let's start with this. This looks like an SAX-10 II Cherokee, probably the kit as it's painted. Lots of nice accessories and stuff going on. This looks like a frozen lake. There's definitely a bit of a cool vibe going on today. This is not the first photo that's, well, this is the first photo, but it's not the only photo that's going to feature some ice. Cool, cold, ice. So already I really dig the environment. Very cool. Truck's a little small though, wouldn't you say? I think we can probably increase the size overall with a nice crop. It's always a great place to start. Are we going to constrain here? I can't remember. No, we're not. We don't really need to for now. But I do want to keep the truck kind of central. So what we're going to do is something like this. I want to keep the sky. I want to keep that background. I wonder if we even go just a touch smaller and make the truck sort of the focus that way. That way we still get some of the ice, we still get this rope bridge that's crawling across, we still get this nice background, some of the sky in there. Let's keep that. So already a good start. Now, if you guys want me to focus more attention on this and less on my ugly face, we can always go full screen like this. You won't be able to see all the tools that I'm working with, but you will see at least more of the photo full screen. You know what? I'll flip back and forth because it is good to see what I'm doing and where I'm doing it from in case you're trying to follow along or you're doing this on your own. First things first, let's bring some detail back into these shadows. It definitely feels a little dark. So we'll just use the shadow slider. And one thing I'm noticing right away, which is kind of cool, is that there's this nice halo of a lens flare right through the front of the truck, which is very neat. We're also going to maybe bring the blacks up a little bit. And I mean, it's a pretty dark photo, but it's not bad. I think we should cool this one right off though, because it is icy, cold, cool. So let's do that. I like bringing the overall white balance or the temperature down a lot. That's feeling pretty good. Exposure wise, let's bring it up a little bit more. It is a sunny day. You can tell that the sun is probably just out of frame. If I'm pretending that I'm the frame of the photo, the sun would be like here. Okay, so Ryan thinks it's definitely better for us to see the tools I'm actually using, so that's good. What's up, Coach D? Thanks for checking in. Looks like, yeah. Cool, okay. I think we're good. So just to get an idea here, you can see that just by doing that bit of exposure and shadow work, you're really able to see more of the elements of this grill and the cool bumper cage that he's put in there and the front cage there. Yeah, so let's keep working on this because this is starting to work for me. I do want to bring some more love to that sky, so we're going to bring in one of our, whatchamacallit, grad filters here, a graduated filter. Maybe even more blue. Am I crazy? Let's see what's in there. There's not a ton of information. It does kind of want to just stay sort of where it was in terms of its whiteness, but maybe if we go into HSL just for this portion. Oh wait, no, that's going to do it to everything. Oh wait. No, I like that. That's more what I wanted to do, is actually bring more blue into it. That's the luminance. Let's get the saturation really flowing here. This is actually working for me a lot better now. We can probably actually get rid of this window. I don't think we need it. Where did it put it? Actually, we'll undo, undo, undo. And I think that's gotten rid of it now. One more. One more. There we go. Okay. No more graduated filter. Let's bring up the saturation of the blues, which already helps because it really brings a lot more texture into this background here. And it really makes this ice feel a bit cooler as well. I'm also going to bring up the orange because I really want to see some of that orange in the truck to really kind of be a nice contrast for everything else. Just so you can see full screen. There we go. I should do a video on how to make a YouTube video. It's not a terrible idea. I could probably share a few hints and tips and tricks. Anyway, let's pull a vignette into this one too. Where are my vignettes? Here we go. Light, medium. I think medium actually is what we'll go with on this one. And what else do I want to do? Let's see if we cool it off. Let's see, that's taking it a bit too far, I think. Kind of losing the truck. Let's keep that maybe more in the 18, 19 range, because then you still have some of these textures and colors coming through. Let's actually give that a bit more texture and a bit more clarity. I think that really helps. I'm not quite done with my HSLs though. I think we're going to bring up the yellows a bit because we're going to get more texture out of that rope. And what else? Maybe a bit more red. Not too much. That's feeling pretty good right there. Hi, Sean. How are you? Let's see if we can get a full screen on that. That's looking pretty good. I like where it's sitting now. I like what's happened to the background. Let's do one more adjustment, though, before we say this one's done. I think we'll do one of these guys over the whole thing here. And just in an effort to sort of give that truck a bit more of the attention. Invert that. That's obviously a bit too much. Kind of broken it a bit by increasing the shadows. And saturation got hit because we were playing with that from another thing in the previous episode. Not too much, just enough. I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good looking photo. Full screen for everyone to see. That's our after. Before. After. I think we brought a lot more drama, a lot more coolness to this photo. Really helps kind of show off some of the texture of the background, but also keeping the truck front and center. I think it's a nice looking photo, and I really thank whoever submitted that photo. I will be sure to return a photo to you that's corrected. Has anybody actually, while I'm thinking about it, have you guys been getting those photos that I've been returning to you? I've gotten a few replies back saying thanks. I just want to make sure everyone's getting them. Yeah, this has been super fun for me. I'm really enjoying it. We'll try to make this a more regular series. I know I've done it every week for the last 3 weeks, but we'll try to keep these going. Rock 8. I did touch a little bit on the Spectrum radio in one of my in the live stream with Josh from the other week, but I do have it here. I'm not going to give you a full review right now, but it's generally pretty good radio. They haven't really changed much other than the color and the actual scroll touch sensitive sort of pad there. It's not like the old rugged, which I don't have anymore. It had a sort of a indented area for all of the controls, and it was really difficult to use. This is a lot better. It's still not as good as a tactile wheel. That's what I prefer, but it is a very good radio, and I'll get into that more in an actual dedicated review. But thanks for asking. I appreciate that. All right, let's get on to another photo. Okay, so we've just finished that one. I'm going to do them in chronological order because that's easy. I wonder if we can do all 20. It seems like a lot. But let's see what we can do. Another cold photo. This is fantastic. It makes me think of Canadian winters. This is a great photo already. Doesn't really have a ton of work that we'll need to do to it because it's actually a really nicely composed photo. I'm not going to do a crop on this at all. I really like sort of the negative space between the top and the bottom. Oh, I can hear my dog and my wife coming. I'm going to have to eat dinner with all of you guys because this started before dinner was ready. But I'm having taquitos. Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm excited. Thanks. Yum. Those are going to be great. I'm really looking forward to those, actually. Yes, Matthew, I will very quickly say thank you again to EVGA. This whole streaming setup that I have now is fantastic compared to what I was running before. No latency, great looking picture, lots of control over that picture, and just a screaming fast computer. I'm really excited. And in fact, before we get into this photo and before I start chowing down here, I'm actually setting up a second computer with a lot of thanks to EVGA. They actually just delivered a bunch of parts to me today. I'm going to start editing full-time on a PC. I'm switching away from Mac, and this is a really big, crazy step for me and something I'm very, very scared about. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm really, really super excited, and it's going to be a pretty fancy build. I won't give much of it away because I'll probably end up doing another video on it, because we will definitely do a Premiere tutorial on how to edit with tiny trucks. So that's going to come in the future too. My thanks again to EVGA. This whole setup here has changed my life. It really has. And these taquitos are going to change my life too. Yes, this is Steve D's submission. This is his Unimog. I really like this photo, Steve. I think you did a really nice job of composing it. It looks great. There's not a lot of details here that would make you think that it wasn't a full-size truck on really, you know, quick examination. Of course, I mean, you guys know and I know it's an SCX-10 but the layman out there, or, you know, if you were showing this to your mom, she might go, that's a really cool truck. So let's start playing around with this one. I really like this though, and I don't think it's going to require a ton of effort to make this even better. Exposure-wise, I feel like that's really good. Highlights, maybe we'll bring those down ever so slightly just to bring a little texture into the snow. Whites and blacks, all good. Shadows, I don't really think there's much we would want to change there. I might actually bring it down even slightly more than it was. You can see it's already getting a bit more textural. Speaking of textural, let's bring up that texture a little bit and add some clarity too, because that's really going to help pop the truck off the background. Normally I would do some sort of window, and I mean, I can show you what that's going to look like if we do one. Don't worry about what it looks like right now. Just invert that. I wonder if there's a way to adjust that so it doesn't do that every single time. Anywho, bring more texture in and maybe give it a touch more exposure. But see, I don't know. I don't think you really need it, if I'm honest. Yeah, let's just get rid of it. I don't like it. I don't think we need it. So let's just keep it without. Let's definitely, though, bring up that, close that. Bring up that orange and red. I really want to see that pop off the screen a bit more. That, to me, already is looking pretty cool. And it's bringing some of that red into the actual texture of the mud that's sticking out underneath there. We'll maybe even increase the yellows a bit too, so we get more of that texture. Blues, like, why would we change that sky? It's already pretty great, but there's some really nice stuff going on in there. I see purples, I see magentas, so let's give that a bit of life. Maybe we'll just we can actually even see, even bringing some grain in there is kind of cool, but that's not what I was looking for. I wanted to do a little subtle vignette, just a light one on that. Man, oh man, that's looking pretty good. I wonder if for fun, and I of course this is, all of this is fun. What if we change the hue of that orange? What if we tried to make it like more camel yellow? Is that, what do you guys think of that? Is that worth it? Let's go full screen and give everybody a chance to soak it in. That looks pretty cool, man. Michigan winter, yeah, definitely. It's Josh's favorite color. Now, because you're not seeing me, I'm just gonna eat one of these taquitos real quick. Mmm. So here, if you want to send a photo to me, the email address should be in the description below. submissions@scalebuildersguild.com. Brandon, I figure I've gotten about maybe 40 photos so far, maybe more. I mean, there's 20 just here, and that's not half of what's been submitted in the last week. There's a whole bunch more that haven't even made the cut yet. All right. While you're not watching me eat, Let's play around a bit with luminance. See, because now we can kind of adjust some of the, you can see I'm playing with the luminance of the orange. I may be taking this a bit far. I can see that it's breaking down a little bit. It's probably because of the texture. But I like making that sky really moody. So I'm bringing that down a little bit. It's really awkward eating and working at the same time. And I apologize to everybody for doing that. But I'm dying of hunger. All right, now let's go back into our white balance. And I'm not really going to make many adjustments on that. I'm really feeling this just as it is. I think that's looking pretty good overall. Let's do a little before and after, just so we can get an idea here. Before, already a great photo, Steve. Thanks for submitting it. After, just a subtle recorrection, just to really make that truck pop off the page a little bit more. Proverbial page, if you will. I think that just adds a little bit more drama, and I'm pretty happy for that one. I think we're good. If anybody's got any thoughts on something else they'd like to see, maybe. We'll definitely get into some presets and stuff. Yeah, I think it's good. Brandon, I might not be right on those numbers. There could be a lot more. There's at least 50 now that I think about it, because I've got 2 pages of email. Steve, thank you for submitting. I really appreciate it. It's always great to get these in. I have a blast doing it. I'm just looking at some presets here just for the fun of it. I think I kind of prefer where we're at because, you know, you can apply one of these. The thing about it, though, is that without knowing what you've done, you don't really know where those things are coming from. Warm shadows is cool, though. That is really nice. That's where we are right now. Warm shadows is just bringing more actual warmth, like more tint into the shadows. But yeah, I think I'm really good with where that one is, so we're going to call that one done. SFL, I'm having homemade mushroom taquitos that my wife made for me. And they are banging. This one I'm really excited about because I think this was shot in a flat, raw format. This is also missing a name attached to it, but I bet you I can find out who it is really quickly. It came in a little while back. Maybe I can't. There's a lot of pages here. You know what? We're going to have to go with miscellaneous. But this is awesome. What I like about this photo is that while the truck is not necessarily the center focus of the truck, it's actually, it's really, really nicely framed, and the background and the foreground is awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun with this one, I think. Let's start playing around a little bit here. Hopefully, whoever is had submitted this will pipe up in the chat, because this one's pretty great. First things first, let's bring up that exposure ever so slightly. I just want to see a little bit more of everything. Shadow-wise, we're actually pretty good. It's a nice moody photo. That's what I really like about it. It must have been a really super misty day, because those headlights are coming through very yellow. So it must just have been a very like overcast early part of the day where there's not a lot of sunlight. It looks really cool though. Whites, I think, were pretty good. texture, just adding a touch to really get that truck to pop a little bit. A little tiny bit of clarity, not very much. Vibrance, we're going to bring that up. And saturation, we're going to bring that up too. And you can already see that this sand is really starting to come alive. I'm just going to show you that full screen there. Before and after, you can really start to see that come alive. This is really nice. Those greens are really going to start popping. Let's bring a little touch of warmth in, just a touch. I don't want to overdo it, but I do want to kind of enhance this sky a little bit, really make it feel like you're getting some of that warmth of that early morning. You can really see it there now. Yeah, Deplorable, I agree with you. This is a really nice photo. So my thanks to whoever submitted it, because this is rad. Let's bring those greens to life. Let's desaturate yellows a bit, because those headlights are a little tiny. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to do that a different way. We'll do individual radial masks here. Tiny, tiny, tiny ones. Invert. Maybe not that little saturation, but just a touch less. And we'll duplicate that and move it over here. Done. So there you go. What else can we do? Oh yeah, see now, when we play with our saturation slider in the HSLs, you can really see the foreground really start to bring that pink in. If you go too far, it starts to break down a little bit, but if you just do a nice subtle amount, it really comes back to life. It's really great. This is just, I love this photo. It's so awesome. So many textures and so many things to look at, and as you play, you kind of see more elements of it. Like now you see these tire tracks a little bit more. What else can we do here? Oranges, where are we going to get some orange in there? Definitely in the background. You can really see it around the corona of the mountains there. It's really starting to come in there. That looks really great. What else should we do? Luminance, maybe. See now, if you reduce, I don't want to go too far because it will start to degrade. But just bringing in more of that red just does some really cool things. I initially thought I was going to crop this photo when I first saw it, but I'm not cropping this one at all. This is awesome. I just love all that background. Like I don't have stuff like that around me, and I certainly don't have light like this either. Man, oh man, it's just awesome. Now you can see if you mess with the tint of the white balance overall, you can lose a lot of that stuff, right? So you kind of want to keep it. I'm not going to go this far in the other direction either, because this is making it a little too pink. So let's just leave that right where it is. Yeah, gosh. I think that might be it right there. Maybe we'll see if we can just kind of... Maybe we'll try a vignette, actually. I don't want to go too heavy, but just something just to center your eye a bit. I think that's really all you need. I think that looks awesome. I also love that it's right-hand drive, too. Yeah, whoever submitted this photo did a really excellent job. I got to get the name out because, yeah, it's so rad. I'm going to quickly go through some of these emails here and just make sure that we can find it here. I don't know why. I try to do a really good job of making sure that they're always named. But for whatever reason, I didn't get that one. I feel like a fool. I know that he sent through a few too, so as soon as I see the same name twice... Andres Hermelo. Andres, thank you. This photo is great. I think it's actually the one I'll probably use for next week's thumbnail because it's awesome. Really nicely done. Let's go full screen and we'll do a little before and after. There is the after and before. What a huge difference. That's pretty awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Andres. That's really awesome. I really appreciate you sending that one through. That makes my day for sure. Yeah, you guys happy with that? Put a comment down in the comments and let me know. Oh, maybe he did have a great one last week too, actually. I'll have to double check that. But thanks for the reminder there, SF Craig. All right, moving on. Another awesome photo. This one really gets me going too, I think. What I like about this is that you're getting some really cool textures in that background. This obviously looks like Florida or Georgia or somewhere south because you're getting a lot of that moss in the trees. This one's from John Darrigan. And yeah, let's get right to it. I think this one's going to be fun because we're going to have an opportunity to play with texture. It's a great looking truck. I like the military canine theme there as well. Let's start playing around a little bit here. Definitely going to warm it up. Definitely going to give it a, well, maybe not, maybe go down a little bit in exposure. Excuse me, in exposure actually. Highlights, we're going to try to bring those down. Touch. Shadows, we're going to bring up because I want to see a little bit more of this front tire and wheel combo. Texture, definitely going to give that a boost. And clarity too. It's always nice to actually see these trucks. Oh, this was at USTE. Right on. Thank you very much, John. I was at USTE #1, and I haven't been able to make it back there yet. Let's play around a bit with sharpening. I think that if we go pretty heavy on it, that's going to work to our advantage because there's still a lot of softness in this background. I don't think we're going to be able to get much out of that sky, but it's always worth a try. See what this does anyway. Maybe a little less texture than normal. Definitely give it more saturation. Maybe lower the exposure. See, I don't know if that's going to work. It's sort of like, yeah, I don't think we need that. I'm just going to get rid of that entirely. But we will throw a vignette on this one. Maybe a medium. Now let's play with saturation overall. We definitely want that to increase. See, already we're bringing it to life. This is pretty cool. I don't know about you guys, but I really have a good time doing this. It's always great to take an existing photo and modify it and make it a little bit different. It's a lot like, actually, a lot like all the tiny trucks that we do. You get something like stock RTR, and then you go in and you change it and you make it your own. And that's what photo editing is for me, really. Let's go full screen for a little while here. I really like the tall shadows. It must have been a good time of day because there aren't a ton of shadows, which is really great. Let's go HSL, bring up some saturation levels here. Touch of the greens. Maybe bring up the blues, whatever's in there. Definitely want to bring up the oranges because there's some cool texture in those rocks. And the yellows too. Maybe not too much yellow. Just enough. You can tell I'm eating again. I'm playing with the red luminance here, and you can see it in the signals. Just going to bring that down a little bit. Bring it up here, it's way too hot. Somewhere in there is probably pretty nice. Yeah, this is a good shot. John, you did a really nice job on this one. Great environment too. I remember shooting a lot of shots on those trails at UST, and there was always something really good to look at. Just sort of thinking about what else I'd like to do. Give it a touch more contrast overall. I'm going to bring a little more clarity into it too. And that clarity is going to really, like, you're going to really feel it in sort of the textures, like the body panels. It sort of really comes to life there. Full screen is munch time. You're totally right about that fistful of throttle. All right. I'm feeling pretty good about this. It's, you know, it's rare, in my opinion anyway, it's rare that a green truck surrounded by green is always going to look good. Because it doesn't usually. It usually blends right into the background, but that's where we were before. And that's where we are now. That's a marked improvement. Yeah, that's really nice. Thank you for submitting that, John. I'll be sure to get that back to you. It's always really fun to be able to share these with everybody, so I can't wait to see this on someone's Instagram. And actually, you know, if you are going to post these on your Instagram once I've sent them back to you, by all means tag Scale Builders Guild. I'd love to see them, and I'd like to like them. So let's do that. This one's from Craig Banks. This is a nice looking Cherokee half cab sort of crawler. I love the rocks. I think those are going to be fun to bring some more life to. Good looking color too. Nice looking truck. Lots of good accessories on there. Really makes it stand out. Let's see what we can do here. We're going to warm it up a little bit. That's always a good place to start, in my opinion. Feel like this one could use a grad at the top, which we're definitely going to do. And keep that saturated and textured. Bring your shadows down a touch. Lower the exposure ever so slightly. And maybe even warm it up just a touch, just so we get some parity between the top and the bottom, so you can center your eye again. That's looking pretty good. Call that done on that element. Shadows wise, I think we're going to give it a touch more shadow. Somewhere in that range there. Just to kind of center your eye. Make the rocks feel a bit starker. Vibrance, I'm going to give that a touch. And then let's go down. There's not a lot of, like, because there's no background or anything in this photo. It really is going to be all about the truck, I think, in this one. Like, there's no, like, really far away background is what I mean. No sky or anything. So let's just make this truck look as good as we can. I think by increasing or decreasing the lumens of the yellows, you really get it to sort of pop a little bit more. We may actually want to do some of these things to just a window over the truck. Something in this range here. And we'll rotate this window around so it is just truck. I'm going to increase texture and clarity just so it pops a bit more. As you can see there, it's already starting to pop. Shadows feel pretty good right where they are now. And I think this could definitely use a vignette. Probably a heavy one too, because there is so much texture, you really kind of want to make it bounce off the page a little bit. Already looks better, yes. Already does look better, definitely in my opinion too. Let's see if we can't get rid of that leaf. Nope, that's not the right tool. What I meant to do was this tool, right? And that's pretty awesome. Now there's no leaf. Much better. Shall we play with the hues at all? Maybe add some more orange into that. Maybe the luminance on that orange can come down so we get a bit more of the textures. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. Damn those leaves, they're always in the way. There it is, full screen. That looks pretty good. Excuse me. What a sneeze. That's the first sneeze I think I've ever had on a live stream. Shame I can't zoom out on the photo, yes. Yeah, it's not maybe the most perfect picture, but I like to think it's maybe sort of like an action shot. Like, photographer grabbed it as quick as he could. Let's do a before and after here. Before. After. Noise. I'm digging that. I'm also digging these taquitos. All right. Thanks for the submission, Craig. Let's move on to the next one. Another cab-only truck. This one's from processed.jpg. Who's this actually from? I wonder. Probably take me hours to figure this out. Why didn't I just save them all as like the names of people? I feel very dumb. But I will find it eventually. Or I won't. Golly darn it. Oh, I think I found it. This is from Dale C. Nice. All right, let's get to it. I like this one. Nice, ominous sky. Good looking truck. TRD mode, which is always engaged in my life. Especially when I'm driving my Jeep. Maybe this one is a good opportunity for a cool preset. I think that's what we'll do on this one. High contrast and detail is probably a good place to start. Vivid is nice too. But let's do something a little arty with this one. High contrast and detail. What we're going to do though is we're going to go in and adjust the shadows maybe just on the truck. So stand by while I get this mask in order here. It's probably good. Invert. Bring up that saturation. Bring up those shadows. So now you get to see some more texture of it. I think we'll actually increase exposure ever so slightly. And Maybe bring it, well, not touch the black point too much, because I do want to kind of keep it sort of dark and ominous. That's feeling a little better. Maybe if we do a shadows overall. Yeah, now we're getting... Oh my goodness. What's going on upstairs? That's feeling pretty good right there. I do like that sky a lot, so let's try to make a little bit more of that. And we're going to increase saturation. Ooh, yes. Bring up the texture. Look at all those extra clouds in there. That's awesome. Can't go too heavy with any of these things because they really, it does start to kind of break apart. You can see, like, as I increase that texture, some of the weird spots in the clouds kind of get a bit, like, overdone. So we're not going to go too far, but it is a lot cooler that way. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Maybe let's do a little crop on this, actually, because you can see there's sort of this, it looks like a playset or something, so let's just get rid of that. Actually, let's constrain this. There. Oh, that didn't do it. That did it there. We're going to do that. Then we're going to move this back up so we get all of that truck centered. Even throw a medium vignette in there, really drama up those clouds. I don't know what a chunga is. Anyway, there's the photo before and after. I think that's bringing some life to it. It's a good looking photo. Thank you for submitting that. I don't know what a chungas is either. You know what? Before we get away from this, let's look at the saturation of a few of these things here. Maybe pull the greens down a bit and the aquas, but we're going to keep that sky pretty blue. Not totally realistic, but I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Done and done. This is a cool submission from Tagir Jokelin. I think I got that name right. I hope I did anyway. If I didn't, you are more than welcome to correct me. This looks like a cross RC, I think. I've never seen one of them in real life. But yeah, that is definitely a cross RC. Aiden, if you want me to regret something, tell me to look it up, because I won't look it up. And then we'll never regret it. Let's try to get this photo a little better cropped. I think it's good, but I think we can make it better. Just by reducing the amount of background. We're never going to get any more top, just because that's the photo's kind of range, so you can't like move it up any closer. That's as close to the bottom as you can get it, so let's go with that. This definitely feels like a preset opportunity. I think we can do something kind of fun with this one. Where's that one that I like? Like massive grain on it. Make it feel like it's an old 70s photo. Yeah. That's already cooler to me. Let's see. Maybe take it to this moody world. Maybe one of these Chris Orwig ones. This is a preset collection that I got. He's obviously from California, because there's like six of these that are all called like California Gold. And these are all like, I guess, for like really underexposed shots for sure. But this one's really nice. Film Classic Warm Plus. Just kind of brings some warmth into those rocks. I really like that. And then we'll see about throwing a vignette in there too. I think that helps. And then you can see that he's brought the saturation down on the reds, but I'm going to bring it back up in this preset. Already we've got a lot of nice stuff going on in the sky, which is awesome. See if I can zoom in on that. Yep. Lots of cool textures going on in there, which is really nice. Yeah, gosh, I don't know that there's much I want to do to this. It already looks pretty good. Exposure's good. Maybe we give it a touch more shadow. Just a touch. That's a good preset. I like that one. Everybody feeling good about that? Oh, Brandon. Good question, actually. What do you think of pictures with more than one truck? Is it harder to edit because your eyes are being drawn to multiple points? Great question. I find that they actually sometimes can be a little bit easier to edit because there are a couple of different objects for the eye to set on. I do like multiple shots or multiple vehicles in a shot. It really does depend, though, on the kind of the subject matter. If it's like a camel trophy and they're all the same, I think that's a really great opportunity for a photo. If they're all different colors, that's a little more challenging for sure. Yeah, I don't think that it's more difficult. I think it's just a different challenge. More detail on the front tire. Well, we could try. Let's do a window just for that. Maybe something like this, and we'll kind of shrink it this way a bit so it fits a bit better. Something like that. I'll invert that because I like all the changes to everything else. Bring up the texture. Yeah, that's not bad, actually. That's pretty good. Good suggestion. Just to give it a bit more sharpness. That's pretty cool. I like that. Who was that from? Steve D. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for adding that comment. I think that looks pretty good. Here it is full screen, just so you get an idea. A lot more texture in that front tire now. It's taquito time. Garrett, is that your photo there, pal? My sweet hot garbage. Ha! Not at all, Garrett. It's a good looking photo. I really like it. It's a good looking truck too. Aiden, why haven't I done a camel trophy? That's a great question. I don't know. I've started so many and I've never finished one. So maybe I'll do one. And yeah, that's a good point, SFL. It does look like it could be an ad specifically for that tire. Definitely. All right. Before? After? I'm feeling it. Nice work, Garrett. Thanks for sending that one along. All right, up next we got Todd Chapman's Truggy. That's a good-looking truck. I like the paint detail on the sides there. This is a nicely composed photo. What I really like about it is that you get some movement from this water. It was a bit of a longer exposure, which is cool. Nice background here with the greens. Lots of nice textures in all of these rocks, and I love seeing that other trucks have already come through this way, and you've got all the paths of tire treads going through the water. We're going to try to bring up some of that, because that is a great way to show off some stuff. What can we do here? Lower the exposure, but bring up the shadows a little bit. definitely add more texture. That already helps a lot. It's unfortunate that there's no inner fenders, but we can deal with that. Not a big deal. I can also see a man back here. So what we're going to do, I think, is probably try to paint in a little area there where we keep everything where it was. Keep the saturation up there. But we're going to go in and actually get rid of... Oops. What was that? What did I do there? Playing with some other sliders. Undo. See if I can't bring the saturation of that red down in that area. For whatever reason, it's not affecting just that area. I'm gonna get out of that. No more brush stroke. But we'll pull that saturation of red out. That way that man disappears. Orange, we're going to boost because now it's bringing more texture into those rocks. Yellow, we're going to do the same thing. Not too much. What else? Bring the greens down a little bit. Let's add a light vignette, not too much. I'm going to try to play up some of the blues because I didn't even know this until just now. But the blue, the rings on these method wheels, those are blue. So let's really get them to pop. And we're going to increase the luminance of the blues too, so that really comes to life. So you can go really dark and you miss it all, but if you bring it up, then you really get to see it. And that's a nice little focal feature that you can focus your eyes on. That looks really good. I think we can probably add a bit more clarity. I didn't touch that yet. I just like it seems to work for these pictures of tiny trucks. Anytime you want to really emphasize the truck itself, throw more clarity at it. But now you've got all these textures in the water. I think that's really playing really nicely, and it's a cool area that this photo was taken in. If we cool it off, we kind of lose all of that texture. So let's keep it in this warm realm. I think that's working pretty well. I'm even going to go a little into the magentas for the tint. Really helps those rocks a bit. And I think we probably should do a window on the truck just on its own. Now there it's losing some. I like all the rock rash too. I want to kind of emphasize that. And we'll bring up the saturation a bit. And maybe even a touch of exposure. Just a touch. But lose some of the contrast. And bring up the highlights. There we go. Nice. Yeah, it did. It brought some blue into those rocks too, and it's nice to give that depth in a photo, and that's a really great way of doing it, in my opinion. So there's your before and after. I'll go full screen on this one. Again, it's a shame that there aren't inner fenders to hide some of those wires, but you know what? Overall, it's a really nice looking photo, and it'd be kind of a shame to try to mess around with that in Lightroom. It's really more of a Photoshop thing, and if we were doing a Photoshop tutorial, that would be great. There it is before and after. I think we brought a lot more drama to that photo. It looks really great. Thank you very much, Todd, for that submission. I wonder if I have time for one more taquito here. You know what? I'm going to sneak one in. Another photo in the water. What the heck? This one's from Steve OK. That's an XCX10 III. That's the first one of these we've had on this show. I know the crunch. It probably makes everybody want to have a taquito. All right, while I'm eating that, I'm going to start working on this photo. Chongi, this is yours? Welcome to the party. I like this truck. I think they look good in photos. We're going to get rid of some of those shadows, though, because I want to see this truck. I'm also going to give it a touch more saturation overall and vibrance, because there's some really nice colors going on in here. Add my trademark texture and clarity. I don't think I have enough taquitos for everyone. Sloppy Joes? I hope they're extra sloppy. Hope you all got that reference. And if you didn't, you're too young or too old. 601. Yeah, I also, Reggie, like the water flowing through the wheels. I think it looks great. What tire is that? Is that the BFG crawler tire that who's his face really likes? I can't remember his name. Oh, Josh. I know how you kids like them sloppy. Thanks for getting that, Travis. Was that Travis that got that? Yeah. Right on. Ah, the orange is such a great complementary color. I can't remember. Shot in the heart of the Kawarthas. Here in Ontario. When this is over, you and I will go for a little trail run, because that's a good photo. Oh, I'm messing with the hue. I want to mess with the saturation. Really bring those oranges to life. It must have been a very high iron content river, because I know the Kawarthas definitely have that up there. But, dude, awesome photo. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Not really much I'm going to do to it. I'm just giving it a bit here and there. Because there's already really cool stuff going on in it. I'd love to get rid of that red diff cover, but... Maybe we just dull it down a little bit. Somewhere in there. No driver. Oh, yeah, I'm noticing that. Tone down the diff cover. Yes, I did. I did! Maybe I'll throw another adjustment brush on that. I don't know if this is going to work. We might be able to get it in there. Exposure. That feels kind of fake. Fake, fake, fake. That isn't too bad. Actually, you know what we'll do instead? We'll go all the way across here, like that, and then knock it back. Just a little bit. Just enough. I think we can get away with that. What can I do here? Let's pull in a window here. Hello. There we go. And, oh, hi! It's dog time. Come over here. This dog got a haircut today, and he looks ridiculous. Come up here. No, come up here. Come up here. Come on. Oof. Oh. No, you're not tall enough. There. He's like shaved really, really short because it's so hot. But he looks great. Right? Handsome. It's always a good time for... no, I'm okay for now. Thanks, love. No, I'm still eating. I'll be done soon. All right. Gotta get back to work. Oh. He's trying to escape. There you go. Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah. He's got more hair than he has fur. It's really, really fine and he doesn't shed very much. So, yeah. He hates getting his hair cut, but he did pretty well today. What else are we going to do to this? This already looks pretty darn good. Shadows, I feel like... Oh, yeah, right. That's what I was doing. I was playing around with this foreground because I wanted to warm it up and give it more texture, but not too much because it's out of focus. You don't want to mess with that. And yeah, done. Let's see if this has made any difference. I would say that it probably has. That's great. That's really good. Steve, thanks for this photo, man. This is really, really nice. I think it looks a lot better now. You? Chuck, yes, I have used Rit Dye to change out the diff cover color. I actually did that on the Honcho Budget Build-Off series, and it worked brilliantly. All right, that's 9 photos in just over an hour. So if I want to finish this by 10, I think we can probably... Can I reduce the reflection on the body? What reflection are you speaking of? I don't see any reflection. Are you talking about like light hitting this, like up here? Otherwise, I don't think there's much I would do here. Aiden, no, I got rid of the Honcho. I sold it a long time ago. Actually, I sold it just after Axial Fest 2018? Does that sound right? Yeah, 18. Hood reflection? I mean, I can try to dull that down, but I think you want to have some light hitting it so you know where the sun is. Yeah, I think I'm good with this one. I don't remember what I sold it for, Aiden. Sorry. It was a long time ago. My memory is fading. Another Unimog. Also from Steve. Is that possible? No. Possibly, yes. If it is your photo, Chongi, maybe we'll skip and do someone else's so everyone gets a turn. Why don't you... It's just a different Steve. So this is Steve D. This is Steve OK. And Steve D also had another one in here, didn't he? Yes. Okay, Steve. So if you don't mind, we're gonna pass on this one for today. And I will, you know what? I'll do it offline, and I'll send both to you. How's that sound? I just want to make sure everybody gets a turn. It is the same Unimog, so yeah. Let's move on if that's okay with you. And if it isn't, too bad. But yeah, I'll do it offline for you. Definitely. Moving on to this photo here. I don't have a name attached to this one. This is probably an older one. or an earlier one, I mean. I can see that he was definitely taking my advice and using some sticks and branches to use as a foreground element. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase that effect by zooming in a bit on the photo itself. And we're going to try to find a place where you're not getting the ends or the tips, just the tips, where you where you're not getting all of the sticks or all of the things completely in view. If we do that, that already helps. Now it looks like the photographer is standing behind a few trees trying to get a photo of the truck. It definitely is purple. I think we're going to give that a lot more saturation because I want that to really show off. Maybe even change the hue of that so it goes a bit more purple so we can actually see the truck. Yeah, no, Craig, there is a lot of stuff going on for sure, but I think there's still some room to make this a pretty great photo. Definitely increase saturation. I think we might... Do we go warm or do we go cool? I think kind of right in the middle, like slightly less warm, a little more cool. Like that. Shadows wise, let's bring that up a little bit so there's not so much kind of falling off there. Definitely throw a vignette. Now we're getting some nice work in the sky there. I like the rocks. I think the texture could come up a lot. Same with clarity. And let's bring that orange down a bit because that's a little distracting in terms of its saturation in the driver. That's looking a little bit better. Oh, Jeremy, this is yours. Thank you very much for submitting, and thank you for checking in. I appreciate that. I think it's already looking a lot better than it did. I really like that you took my advice on the sticks. I think it really does help. Looks pretty cool. What else can we do here? I wonder if there's something in our in one of our presets that we can do here. Maybe where we're at is actually better than any of these presets. That's always a really nice thing too. When your corrections are better than what they're offering in a preset, that means to me that you have gotten to a point where you've figured out what to do, how to make it look good. So I think this is actually working pretty well. We'll do a little before and after for you guys, and we'll go full screen for that one. And before and after. You're not getting to see all of the stuff there, so there's a better view of it now. Before, great sky. I think there's a lot of cool stuff happening in that sky, but it's framed a little far away and need to get a little bit closer to that truck. So I think that really helps a lot. Much gooder. Much, much gooder. Great job. Thank you for sending that in, Jeremy. I appreciate that. And then here's one from Chuck GRC. That's a trail walker Texas Ranger. This, Chuck, is a nice start to a photo. I really like actually just the subtleties of the details. You just threw on a couple extra stickers on there, and I think it really kind of makes that truck look good. I love the rear cage on that. I don't remember that being on the RTR, so you must have done a little work to it. And it looks like you made the fenders a better size too. I remember the fenders on that truck being very small. So that's good. Very good. I'm definitely going to crop in on this one, because I want that truck to be front and center. Yes. Now, it looks like we're dealing with a little less resolution than I would typically like. But we're going to do our best here. I feel like this one, because it's such a nice blue truck, I'm not going to mess around with the temp too much, because you can see, like, it gets warmer, but then you start to lose all that blue. Wonder if we can bring that back. I mean, it's summer. Let's try and bring some of that blue back. I don't know if we're going to get it all, but let's try. Yeah. Didn't have to try very hard, I guess. And we can have all kinds of fun now that we've got it. Crop it again? How much further do you want me to crop it? You got to get some background and some idea of where it is. We can play with this blue as much as we want now. We can make it purple. We can make it aqua. I think we'll leave it blue. I just wanted to give it more blue overall. Really kind of make it pop a bit. I love that flare, that sun flare coming off of the front fender there. That's really cool. Shadows wise, not going to do too much to it. What wheels are those? Oh, that's those are off the Blazer RTR. Yeah? Yeah, I think I might be right on that. Now, texture and stuff, I don't know that it's going to hold up. Might be okay if we just do a touch. Clarity, I think this definitely deserves a heavy vignette. And I think I'm going to suck the green out and play with that a little bit in terms of its saturation. Yeah, we're going to dial it back a little bit there. Same with the aqua. Maybe this is kind of another one of these ones where we should go like almost full desatch for the background. And just make it all about the blue truck. What do you guys think about that? Honcho tires and wheels. That's it. I knew they looked familiar. The Blazer, they were chrome. Or gray, right? They were gray, I think, on that one. Anyway, now we're having some fun. This looks really cool now. I think that's kind of a good look. Let's play a bit more with the blue. And just make it really pop a bit more. There. I like doing these ones. What do you guys think? Looks excellent. I like that. I also like that. Full screen, anyone? Full screen for the final taquito time. Yeah, JK. This specific trail walker has a great stance. The fender cut is brilliant. That looks really good. You know what? I'm going to toss the red back in because we're losing the taillight without it. Boop. Better. Okay. Before. After. I'm pretty happy with that one, guys. Craig, or Chuck, sorry. Chuck, thank you very much for submitting that photo. I'm really happy with that one, and I can't wait to send it back to you. All right, what do we got next? This is from Norwegian Car Guy. It's a 6x6. Wow. Some sort of tow truck. Or like heavy-duty tow truck. I love the texture of these rocks. We are going to bring that to life right now. Already, that's pretty good. Maybe just a touch more exposure. Bring up the shadows so we get some of the texture. Like, see how much of a difference just increasing your shadow density makes? Now you get to see that whole body. Before, it was just kind of like, okay, I think that's neat. Now you get to see some of those actual lines. That's way better. Way better. There's no need to do a crop on this one either. I kind of like seeing all that background back there. But let's trademark texture and clarity. Yeah, dude. That's awesome. Those rocks are great. And white balance as shot, I'm not even really... Josh! How dare you show up so late? 9:20. Unbelievable. I think this one deserves to be really warm. Like, this is almost like you could imagine it being like a Rubicon or a Utah. What's the big trail in Utah? Moab? It could be like one of those sorts of recovery trucks that you would see out there. What else? Maybe a subtle vignette. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that. Vibrancy, good. It's actually kind of cool when you bring it down a little bit again and then boost saturation. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I don't think we really need to do much to this one. Norwegian car guy. It's great. Great job. That looks like, is that, does anybody know if that is the Pro line or is that the Vitera cab? Mad Max 2, yeah, for sure. Let's see a little before and after. We'll go full screen on this one. Before. After. There we go. And Josh, since you missed it, it's taquito time here at the SBG household. I'm having taquitos for dinner. But I'm not letting anybody watch me eat them. Okay, so speaking of photos that had more than one truck in them, look at all them Traxxas trucks. You will not have any of my taquitos, Josh. You're not allowed. This is a great photo. And it's a challenging photo because there are so many trucks in it. Right away, I can tell we're not going to recrop this one. This is from... no name on this one either. What was I doing? I actually, like, physically went through and said, I'm going to make sure that I get all the photos with people's names on them. And then I didn't do it. Idiot. Dang it all. Could this be Tennessee Jimmy? No. But Tennessee, you got some stuff in there. Maybe not this week, but maybe next week. There's so many photos. Darn it. Sorry guys, I do want to know whose photo this is, because I definitely like being able to tell people. Maybe somebody will call it out and tell me that it's their photo. That would be really helpful. Well, hopefully you're watching the live stream. You're the only 10. I don't know what he's talking about. Looks like a Traxxas advertisement. Oh, come on, you guys. Be nice. Well, sadly, they're not watching, so we'll never know. Well, we will know. I'll find out eventually. Anyway, let's get to it, because this is a good quality photo. It's nice and big. Lots of great texture in all of these rocks, as you can see. Nice sky. Yeah, let's get to it. A touch more brightness in the shadows. Whites are good. Let's bring those rocks to life. Bring that sky to life. Get a little more vibrancy out of it. Saturation, I feel like we're pretty good overall. We can try to jazz it up a bit. Now it's starting to feel a bit like an ad, but we can tone down that Oops, we can tone down that orange, because that is pretty intense. That's better. Definitely Vignette. Maybe we do a recrop on this ever so slightly, huh? I wonder what we can do, because it just feels a little tiny scotch bit out of place. I don't want to mess with it too much. Maybe somewhere in there, and then we just give it a little bit more headroom there. Yeah. Josh, I'll tame whatever orange I want. You hear me? Angle it a bit. Yeah, we can play with the rotation. Maybe to get it so that somewhere in there, but we'll constrain the crop. Yes. How's that look? That looks better. Yeah. I like that. You know what? Let's go crazy. Let's do this turquoise and red. Where's flat and green? No, I don't like that one. That warm contrast is nice. Yeah, this makes it feel a bit more like hot, right? Not like warm, but like hot. And then maybe we do a bit more work in the shadows, because it does feel like it fell off a little bit. Like, you don't want to do too dramatic, right? Because then you start to lose detail. Maybe right there. I think that's pretty good. I don't know that I would do much else. Caliente, yeah. Like these taquitos. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that one. Want to do a before and after? Before. After. Just a subtle correction. Not like, it's not crazy. But it's enough. TRX Sport needs some contrast. I don't know. If I add more contrast, it's just going to get darker. I'll show you what it does, though. That's like my most common thing, I think, in my editorial life, like when I'm with clients. I mostly say things like, well, I don't know. I mean, we can try it. I'll show you what it looks like. But I'm already like, I've already discounted it, like it's not going to work. Which probably isn't the right approach most of the time. Just going to go back in and readjust all these things. Adding a little more saturation isn't bad. But if we add more contrast, I mean, it's not really doing too much. If we lower the shadow content there, that's better. And it still feels natural within the scene. I wish this was a different color, because it is, this tan version does kind of meld into the background a little bit, and there's not much we can do about that. But overall, I think that's a pretty cool photo. So thank you very much, mystery submitter. Oh yes, I wanted to do this one last week, but I didn't get to it. I like this lake effect, some waves, nice textural background. Not a big photo though, as you can see, so we're gonna have a bit of trouble with this. We'll do what we can. First of all, I am going to cool it off a little bit and maybe tint it slightly towards the green, but not too much. And give it a touch more saturation overall. Vibrance definitely helps too. Yeah, I don't have a name for this picture either. I'm really letting you guys down. I know I am. Let's bring texture into it and raise those shadows ever so slightly overall. Maybe even touch more, but we'll go back with the blacks a bit. Maybe even a touch of exposure. That already looks pretty good. What else can we do? Take some of the blue out, throw some aqua in. Maybe even toss some more orange into this, and it's only gonna, you're only gonna see it in like these areas of the wave, these little bits up here and the bits in the background, but it's enough to kind of make it feel a bit better. I'm gonna go full screen so you can see it a bit better. Yeah, this is that MST body, right? It's the like the Brute style MST Jeep adjacent truck. That looks pretty good. Here's a before and after. Big wave for a lake. Yeah, but I bet you it is a lake. I could be wrong. I just, maybe, you know what, I'm not used to seeing pine trees around a ocean, but it's just because of where I live. All right, I think that's good to go. I like what we've done there. Not a massive difference, like, but it is enough to really kind of make that truck pop a bit more. So thank you, mystery submitter, on that one too. What time is it? 9:35. Okay, I think we got time to do a couple more. Yeah, it does look like a bit of a Jeep commercial. I really like that wave. I can't wait to send this one back to the owner. Whoa, now we're talking. That's a nice big photo. Cool looking Sendero. It's almost got like a snakeskin wrap on the fenders. That's cool. All right, what can we do here? Is it preset time? Maybe we go extra grainy and do like the kind of the creative look again. No, maybe not. I don't think that's a good idea. Hey, there's a Harley sticker on the back of this truck. Well, you've just lowered its value. Maybe a nice golden hour. I think that would help this one a lot. It's kind of, we're sort of struggling a bit because we've got that fence in the background. There's not much we can do in that regard. Actually, you know, that looks pretty good too. But I think I like golden hour best. It's a very simple effect, but it's nice. It brings a lot of warmth into it. I've been definitely leaning towards the warmer end of things for a lot of photos lately. I think it's just the time of year. We'll go heavy on the vignette. And, you know, see about maybe bringing up some sharpening. Well, not this one. I don't want that. I want, where is it? I want this one. Yeah, really make it pop. Bringing up the texture and clarity, especially when you vignetted a shot, really helps pop it off the page. You can kind of see that happening as I scroll through, right? Hide the sticker. Yeah, if I could, I would. Actually, let's do it. Let's get rid of that crummy photo, or that crummy sticker. Ah, it's never going to work, guys. It'll look ridiculous if we try to do that. Or maybe it won't. There, it's gone. Suck on that, Josh. Yeah, we can't pull a lot more orange. We can't really pull any more color into it because it's already doing a pretty good job of enhancing all of those colors. There we go. Nice, simple, easy one. That one's pretty good. I do make leaves disappear, so making that sticker disappear was not a big deal either. Here's a before and after. Not the perfect background, but definitely a much improved, I think. Moving on. Another no-name photo. This looks like that same Jeep that we did earlier, though, and I found out who that was from. Didn't I? Yes. This is the same guy. So if that's the case, we're going to skip it again. My apologies, but only one per person, I think, is probably our key to getting through a lot of these over the next couple of days. Chuck G, thanks for the $5, man. That's really nice of you. Yeah, this is the Harley Jeep. Oh, that's the other reason I'm skipping it. JK, yes, thank you again for submitting. Steve, we'll skip over it. I'll do it offline. I'll send them both back to you. How's that sound? Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Plus, it's orange. Josh is going to get a big head if we do another one of an orange truck. So let's just move on here. Milo. Ah! This is awesome. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want out of these photos. Great sky, great background, lots of cool color and texture on these rocks, which are obviously graffito tagged. Really nice reflection in the foreground, water feature, and an awesome looking truck. It's got everything I want. I'm not even going to recrop this one because it's kind of cool to see some of that background in there. Yeah, there has been a lot of orange tonight, Steve. I wonder why that is. It can't be because that's the best color for a truck. Yeah, I think this one's going to go naturally a bit cooler. But we're going to bring in some more texture because, obviously, and clarity too. It's like when you have a rat rod that's all rusty like this, this definitely deserves a lot of that texture because it really brings out all of this cruddiness that is in that truck. Definitely going to bring out some vibrance. Definitely going to bring up the saturation. Already this is like way better than it was. I'm like totally in love with this photo. I'm bringing up the shadows. I'm going to try to bring down the highlights a little bit because I think it does accent what's happening in the sky. But I am going to bring the blacks back down a little bit because I do want to get some more texture out of those tires. I may actually go and window those ones too. Saturation on some of these elements. We're going to bring up the orange. We're going to bring up the yellows. We're going to bring down the greens ever so slightly. We're going to bring up the blues and the aquas. Not too much though. Purples. Are there any purples in there? A little bit. Yeah. Those are nice to see. And then I think I'm going to window the truck. I may actually, you know what, I'm going to use the brush tool. This is a little easier to manage what I want to do here. I'm just kind of going over most of the details of the actual truck itself, the actual cab there, and Gonna oversaturate it a bit. Not too much. Bring up that texture again. Oh yeah, dude. This is coming to life now. I'm getting raspy, but this is all worth it. Clarity. Sharpness. Guys. Oh, Chongi, thanks for the $5, man. I appreciate that. And thank you for submitting a photo. I really appreciate that. This might be... done that one. We'll do another one. We'll do a radial so we can get the whole truck tire in there. Yeah, I'm having a total blast with this series. This is a lot of fun. It's more fun than I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest. And we're going to bring up the saturation because I like seeing that. Texture gets a big boost. Even though it's not totally in focus, I think it's worth it to just highlight this wheel and tire combo ever so slightly. Are you guys feeling this? Because this feels pretty great. I'm going to go full screen for a second here. I don't have any more taquitos, but just want to show you the texture on that cab. That looks amazing. I would love to see a build thread on this truck because it photographs really well. And it looks like it's sort of a compy kind of rig too. It would be nice to see how this truck came together. John, thank you for the $5, man. Totally not necessary. You don't need to do that. It's all part of the joy for me of putting these videos together and sharing some tips and tricks with you guys, and hopefully you're all learning something too. So, yeah. Yeah, I think bringing out those details has really helped that truck a lot. Yeah. I think that's looking pretty good, guys. Let's see if we go back and warm it up. Is that cool? Is that cool or is that too much? I'm kind of curious what you guys might think. There's where I was before, kind of a bit cooler. And then I tried going a little bit warmer. Redo. I don't know. It's a little much, right? Or, well, okay, some people like it. Some people don't like it. Maybe if let's just split the difference, maybe. Warmer is better. Roof was blending with the sky. Okay, all right. Not bad much, just a touch too much. Okay, well, let's split the difference. How about right there? Ah, you know what? I think that's it. I think we just nailed it right there. What I really like about this photo, composition. Great composition, great subject. It's nice that the truck isn't fully centered. It's still rule of thirds, so it still kind of counts. But what you've got is you've got the truck. Obviously, the truck is in a bit of shadow because there must have been a cloud just like right where the sun was at that moment. And then you've got all this bright light behind you in those rocks. This is great. This is a really great photo. Thank you very much, Milo. This one is amazing, and thank you for submitting it. Yeah, it looks like we've got 2 more today, and then we're going to probably end it. Let's do this one here. Actually, oh, sorry. What am I doing? Before. After. Yep. That's a winner, guys. That is a winner. And there's a driver, too. Nicely done, Milo. Thank you. Now, we've got a nice looking... this is a good looking Scout here. This is a Gen 8. Good background, nice sky, good foreground. Let's get some more exposure into this thing, though, and actually see the truck. And this is one of the tips that I gave in the how to take better pictures of your tiny trucks. It definitely looked like this was backlit, so the sun was behind the truck and not in front of it. And it's really hard to get everything into the right exposure levels when the sun's behind you. or in front of you and behind the truck like it is here. It would be great if this truck was flipped around and we were actually shooting it from the other direction so the sun was actually hitting it. But there should be enough information in here that we can kind of bring this back to life. And you can see it's actually green, not black. So that's cool. Nice paint job overall. I'm going to bring up the saturation ever so slightly. Try to suck some more vibrance into everything. I like that it's a bit rusty in places too. Good treatment on, well, these are G-Mades, so they naturally rust. You don't have to do any work to those. We'll throw a medium vignette on there for fun. Highlights, let's bring those down a touch. That's already looking a lot better. I wonder if we go vintage instant with one of these. I think that's cool. And then let's get some grain. Where's my grain button? Now it feels like a Polaroid. We did a Polaroid style last week, and it's always nice to throw one in just for fun, just to make it feel a bit old and vintage. Before we go much further though, I am going to fix this little bit of red here. It's probably just like a little reflection or something. And just knock that exposure all the way back and gone. Nice. These are all like really tiny little things, but they make a big difference in my opinion. Anytime you see a wire or whatever, and if you can get rid of it, just get rid of it. Yep. That's a nice simple one. I don't really think we need to do too much more to it. We've made a huge improvement in my opinion. Before, you think there might be a truck there. After. It's great. Oh, Travis, is this your truck? That's your old farm truck. Oh, Suits painted this one for you. Oh, he did a good job on it. Nice. I think we've definitely made it better, yeah? If you like, give me a thumbs up. Yes, okay, great, awesome, perfect. Thank you for the submission, Travis. I'm sorry that for whatever reason I didn't put your name on the photo. I'm trying my best to do that from now on. I can't go in any further on this one. That's as big as it's going to get. It's on a 4K monitor, so that's big. But thank you for the submission. I really appreciate that. I do try to put the names on them. I'm doing it now for all of them going forward. This is just a batch, some submissions from last week, so I wanted to get to those. And finally tonight, what do we got here? A Jeep JK. Is that a JK? Or no, that's a JL. I gotta get better at knowing my Jeeps. I like this photo though. I like it sort of like an action shot, like he's just about to go over this rock. So let's make more of that, the center of this photo. Somewhere in there, maybe something like that might work. Yeah. Yes, that's good. Thanks, Travis. I appreciate that. I'm glad that everyone's liking these photos, and I'm glad you're liking this series. This is sort of a little bit different, right? It's not technically RC related, but it is about tiny trucks, and it's about making your tiny trucks look better. So, you know, this is always good. Anytime you can learn a little bit of something and you can carry it forward into your hobby, it's always a good thing. So this is from Brandon Hillary. Thank you, Brandon, for your submission. I do like this background. I think it's pretty cool. Shadow-wise, I feel like we're already kind of in a good range. The more you bring it up, the more you start to see some elements, though, and it actually does help sell that it's maybe a full-size truck if you see a bit of the inner fender shrouds. That's the great thing about the SX10 III is that it really is kind of enclosed. And it's one of the better trucks out there lately to have inner fenders and not being able to see a motor inside. And you know, they did a good job on the design of this truck for sure. Yeah, no, I'm going to make everybody get expensive cameras to go with the expensive RCs. Yeah, never mind I just bought myself another camera so I can start doing like a 2-camera setup for the live streams. And also for all the other videos. It's just a lot easier to have 2. Oh! Josh, I'm so glad Nicole's mom likes these. Is she an avid photographer? Or does she have a lot of tiny trucks at home too? Alright, what else can we do here? I don't want to give this one too much texture. Because I actually kind of like making sure the truck pops a little bit. The vibrance slider is really helping this one a lot too. I am going to bring those reds down a little bit because they feel a little oversaturated. And it also helps kind of make the truck feel a bit more real. Perfect demo to go for? I don't think I know. I don't think I know what you mean, Josh. You have to help me on that one. Blues. There are some blues. I think it's just probably just reflections that are coming in. But it looks pretty good. Adding a little bit more of that in there. Do we go with a bit of a vignette? Yes. And is it preset time maybe? Let's do something fun with this one. Let's end it off with a bang. A color bang. I'm not really feeling any of these. I feel like what we're doing is actually better. Again. Temperature-wise, I feel like this one could go cooler. Yeah, something in there is kind of nice. Reggie, why don't you put it... even Josh's wife is checking in and said, Josh would do this better. That is totally untrue, Nicole, and you know it. Stolen Nicole's iPad. Unbelievable. Josh, you are incorrigible. Maybe we add a little filter over here, just to give it a bit of texture and a bit of a different tint. Yeah, I kind of like that, actually. And then let's go into the greens. Change that. Change the hue, because it's feeling a little over saturated in green, like whoosh, too much. That's kind of cool. Just give it a bit of a different look. Then we're going to increase our oranges and our yellows. I think we got a winner there. Yeah. We are fun together, you're right. I don't know which part of the like, am I the straight man or is Josh the straight man? I don't know. I think he's probably the straight man because I make fun of him more often. That's how it goes. Before, oh, let's go full screen, sorry. Before and after. Yeah, nice. Reggie, go ahead and ask your question now, because this is the last photo of the day, and maybe we'll go through all of them again. I think that's what we do usually, isn't it? I don't remember. Here's number 1. Before, after. Number 2, before, after. Definitely one of my favorites from this week. before, after. Before, after. Before. Guess what's next? After. Before and after. I like that one. Oh yeah, I like this one too. Before, after. New from Cross RC, the Black Rock tire. It's a tire ad. Before and after. I think actually seeing the wires kind of helps a little bit with this one. Texture is really nice. Before and after. We didn't do this one, but I will. Before and after. I think we made a lot of improvements on that one. Definitely a favorite from this week. Before, after. I like those ones where you just pull out all the saturation, but just one color stays. It's really cool. Before and after. Before, after. Makes it feel more real. When you add texture in, you get a lot more crisp lines. That really helps a lot. Oops. Before, after. Before and after. Before, after. Before, after. And probably my favorite of the week, before, after. So there we go. That's the final one there. Is there a chip brush setting for Josh? We should do, actually, that's a really funny idea. We'll do one week where it's all just like Josh style photos. That's a really good idea. What was Reggie's question? Taking action photos. I can catch the action, but every time the subject is heavily blurred, is it me or the camera? It's probably the camera. Yeah, it's hard to adjust for action on like an iPhone or a camera that doesn't have a specific action setting. You have to really get the shutter speed up high, and you have to get a lot of light into the lens in order to make it work. My best advice is to maybe even film like in slow motion mode and then just grab a still from the video. That might work a little bit better. I haven't had a lot of experience with the actual phone and high speed shooting. I use my real camera for that. But some cameras on your phones do have a setting specifically for action. You just have to find it. So I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you, Reggie. BP1 GoPro 2 said, love your vids. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Favorites for this week from Fistful of Throttle are the Trail Walker, the Jeep on the Beach, and the old rusty truck. Yes, I think those are probably my top 3 as well. There's some good ones this week, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I think it's a nice kind of across-the-board kind of look to everything. Not everything is the same, and I think that's something that you kind of have to remember. All these photos are shot at different times, different locations, different lighting, different subjects, different backgrounds, all kinds of different things. So to try and apply one filter to make all of them look good is never going to work. They're all going to be totally different. So something to keep in mind. There's a ton of different ways to do this. If you want to send a pic, it's submissions@scalebuildersguild.com. It should be in the description below. And you can send those through. I've got a backlog now, and doing 20 in 2 hours is pretty amazing, actually, I gotta say. I feel pretty good about myself in that regard. So I think that's probably gonna do it. I don't know that I've got any photos of my own actually even in the system to to look at. Let me just quickly cut back over to me, and I will see if there is anything in there. Yeah, I haven't added any photos of my own that haven't been done in here. Well, actually, you know, we can do one. Why not? Let's do one. Toad ADY or Toadaddy, maybe? Use the awesome preset. Nice try, Josh. Nice try. You obviously can't find that preset, right? Yeah, let's do one of mine. Let's do... I'm gonna load it up here and then I'll cut to it. Any guesses as to what photo or what truck I might be correcting today? Get your guesses in now, or forever hold your peace. Stickers will be ready soon. I know for a fact tomorrow's a holiday for me. I have to work still, but tomorrow is a holiday. Thursday they should arrive, and then I'll do an announcement, and we'll start shipping them probably Monday or Tuesday, depending on how many orders I get. I ordered 200 sets this time, so there's lots. But don't let that fool you. They sell out usually in a day or two. So be ready with your PayPal. All right, here we go. Final photo of the night, the Loco Hawk. Ah, $5. Hashtag Josh Smells sticker coming at you, definitely. Although, did I put one on this sheet? I can't remember. Anyway, let's do the Loco Hawk. I think this one kind of, because it is sort of a, what do you call these? Steampunk-esque kind of shots. I actually went to a railway museum to take this photo. And stupidly, I drove all the way out to like Fort Erie or something, which is like an hour and a half from my house. There is a perfectly good railway museum right downtown Toronto that I completely forgot about. It's like 20 minutes from my house. So, I'm an idiot. Anyway, because this is kind of steampunky, let's go vintage and old. I feel like this is definitely going to be... I don't know, I'm not going to do black and white, but I definitely want to get some warmth and some strong contrast into this shot. So, what can I do? I can always do a preset. This one's kind of cool. I think it's probably a good place to start. Right there. But we're going to go back in and really warm this up. Not crazy amounts, but just some. Vibrance. Feel like we can probably give that a touch in there. Hi! Oh no, not fireworks for the puppers. He's not happy at all. We're not going to be going for a nighttime walk, that's for sure. Poor dog. I never really thought about how much fireworks suck until I got a dog. Now I hate them. Poor puppers. Let's throw some grain in there. Make it feel vintagey. Highlights are down all the way. I feel like leaving the shadows up are good. Poor dog. So unhappy. Throw a vignette on there too. That's too much. That's pretty good right there. It's kind of nice because there's a lot of texture and light in the background. With the added grain, it definitely feels a lot more vintage. Oops. I don't think there's much else I want to do to this, if I'm honest. I can try increasing some texture and clarity, but yeah, actually, you know what? That's pretty cool right there. Toot toot! Yeah, mine's under my workbench now too. Poor guy. Have I ever thought of cloning that build, but in an electric version? No, but it's pretty easy. I could just rip out the steam engine and make it electric. Little strong on the yellow, you think, eh, JR? Huh. Okay, well, let's try cooling it off a little bit. How about that? Is that better? Let me show you what I did. That's where it was. And that's back to where it is. Better? Actually, that does feel better to me. Good call, my man. Maybe we'll just bring in a little touch. Shadow there, just for fun. Yeah. Just a bit. Somewhere in there. That's maybe a little too warm. Yeah, that's good. Dunzo. I think that looks pretty good. That's where it was. That's where we've taken it. Let me pull up the full screen. Before. After. Yeah, that tire is orange because it's got dirt on it. I guess we could do a little bit of work to it, but I don't want to mess with it too much because the blacks are already in a pretty good spot. If I do this and I don't like it, I'm going to turn it off, okay? We'll invert that. How about somewhere in there? Keep the texture up. Lower the exposure ever so slightly. My shadows back down. There. All right. I can dig with that. And I think that's going to do it. That's it for tonight's stream. Matthew Small, I shoot pretty much always in RAW. Yeah, I like shooting in RAW. I don't mind the extra giant file size. I like having all that flexibility. So, yeah. That's where I go. Now they match. I did it. She's a beaut. Yeah, I wish this was more of a practical truck. It doesn't really get a lot of use outside of like showcasing it or like at an event and just firing it up, blowing the whistle and stuff. It doesn't get a lot of use, unfortunately. But it is a nice showpiece for sure. All right. So that's going to do it, I think, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a real blast again. I'll be sure to send out all of these photos to everyone who submitted them, the corrected versions with a watermark, so you can post them on Instagram, and be sure to tag Scale Builders Guild in those because I love to see them and like them. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow night when I get to do this again with that ding dong on the West Coast. And we do have a special guest who I can say tonight is definitely going to be on board. James Knight from Knight Customs will be our guest tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So hope you guys will check in for the live stream takeover. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon, guys.